I just want to show we're burying my... I'm so happy that I can stitch this video because my sister blocked me on everything. My name is Naomi. I'm 4 years older than Ronnie, but she's not going to tell you guys what actually happened, and she's not going to make a part 2 because she knows she's wrong, and she can't make a part 2. So Ronnie's dad passed away last week. I found out that night. I made plans to come down on Thursday. I live 7 hours away from her. So I had come down that Thursday. I took the rest of the week off of work to be there for my sisters. Ronnie is dating Donovan, which is what she's not going to tell you. Ronnie is dating Donovan. Donovan is a drug addict. So Donovan got high the day before they even found out her dad passed away. But people relapse, that's okay. But his mom knew that he was high, so he got kicked out of his mom's house. I'm blocking out my nephew's face, but this is him, a video of him high in front of his kids. I leave New York at 12 o'clock on Thursday. I get there around 7 o'clock. We're drinking, we're crying, like everybody's having a hard time. But fast forward a couple of days till the day of the funeral, which was Sunday. On Sunday, Donovan says that he and his son need a haircut. My mom gave him $30 for a haircut. He had $20 in his pocket. He took my car and went to get a haircut. When he came back, he said, "Hey, I had to take $40 out of your bank for the haircut." It's the day of my sister's father's funeral. I'm not going to yell or argue. Whatever. Not really whatever, because he didn't look right. He looked high. I didn't want to say anything because I'm not going to bring it up at a funeral, but Donovan was high the entire funeral. After the funeral, they wanted to go out to eat with their family. I also wanted to go, but they needed somebody to babysit their kids. They have 3 children, and they didn't want to go. They didn't want the children to go. So my mom said she would babysit 2 of the children, and I had to stay home and babysit with her. At the house, it is Ronnie's father's house. It is also where my mom has lived for the past 5 years with Ronnie's father because it was her ex-husband. They have a dog named Oakley. Oakley's not that good with children, but he had been a little bit better, so we were letting the children around him. They were out at a restaurant doing whatever. Me and my mom were babysitting. Their oldest son, Kylan, he is 2. He's going to be 3 this year, went to give Oakley a piece of crust from the pizza, and Oakley nipped him on the arm. I think it bruised him. It didn't really cut the skin. It was like a panic nip, and Kylan cried for maybe 30 seconds, and then he stopped. My mom called Donovan and Ronnie to let them know what had happened, and high off of drugs, Donovan started screaming at my mother. So my mother started screaming at Donovan. Donovan comes home, and even though he said he was so concerned about his son, did not go to check on his son. He came right into the room where I was sleeping with his 1-year-old daughter, and started screaming at me. He started throwing stuff around the room. He was looking for something. He was freaking out. I kept asking him what he was looking for, and he kept going, "The glove, where's the glove? Where's the glove?" I said, "Donovan, I don't know, but you're being crazy." My sister and her friend and the 2 kids went upstairs. Kylan was asleep in my mom's room, and I went downstairs on the couch. I needed some time. I had just spoke at my sister's father's funeral. That was like a dad to me. I was upset. I just needed to get away, and I needed to get away from Donovan for a little bit because he was freaking me out. While they were upstairs, Donovan kept coming downstairs and calling me a fake bee. He kept saying I was doing this to him on purpose. I kept saying, "Donovan, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to go upstairs in a little bit. I just need some time alone." He was so agitated and angry. I kept telling him, "If you do not stop, I am just going to leave." Donovan did not stop. So I went upstairs to where my sister was, and I said, "Ronnie, I am leaving." I didn't even tell her the full scope of why I was leaving. I just said that I was leaving. When I said I was leaving, Donovan then got so aggravated and angry that he said that he was going to hit me. He was screaming at me. And I sat there for a little bit. I sat there and I took it because I'm not going to do this in front of my sister, who I just lost her father. Donovan is screaming at me to send him back the money. We were supposed to go to Puerto Rico, which he can't do because he's on probation. We were supposed to go to Puerto Rico. He sent me $1,000. I had used that money. Some of that money. They had $600 left, but once they canceled the trip, I said, "I can't lose out on $1,000. Like, I'm going to need to take out some of the money out of the money that you gave me, and I will send you back what's left." He was screaming at me to send him $1,000. He was screaming so loud that my mom came out of her room. He then picked up a weight I think it was 10 pounds, and said that he was going to go smash the windows out of my car and slash my tires. We had gone downstairs because now we are all screaming at each other. My sister is holding her 2-week-old baby. She's screaming at me because I don't want to be in a house where her boyfriend is off of drugs and threatening to hurt me. I left and I get to New York the next day because I stopped to sleep. It was around 2 o'clock when my sister texted me. She texted me, "Hey, what's going on?" I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Did you send it?" I told her I was going to send them the remainder of the money that they had left. I said, "Yes." "Oh, I forgot you can't see it." "Yeah, I did." She had uninvited me from her dad's funeral, her dad's burial, rather. She said, "Okay." I said, "Will I see you Wednesday?" You can tell me no, I'm just asking, because again, I'm not going to go to a burial for them, for their dad, if they don't want me there. Like, that's so rude. And that's what I was thinking. She texts me and says, "Nye, are you having an episode? Or like, is mom making your bipolar worse?" Because I was just diagnosed with bipolar disorder. A little bit before Donovan had known that I sent the money because he couldn't see it, I called my sister's phone to talk to her, and he was screaming at me. He said that he was going to come to New York on Wednesday. He was going to come to my house, kill my 3-year-old daughter, kill my adopted mother, kill my biological mother, and kill me. They said my mother was no longer allowed to live in the house that she lived with, and lived in for 5 years while taking care of their dad. They kicked my mom out and she had no place to go, so I offered for her to live with me. I called Donovan's PO because Donovan is actually not allowed out of the state. He just got in trouble for stealing somebody's car, crashing it, and then he was getting high. He's a drug addict, and I hope he gets the help he needs after this. The car that's in the video, my mom had given my sister. My sister said she didn't want it, so even though my mom had given it to my sister, my mom bought it back from them. And I don't know what my sister did with the money. I don't know what Donovan did with the money. It doesn't matter at this point. They then take my mother's car and drive all the way to New York, where he just said that he was going to harm my daughter, my sister's goddaughter, her blood niece, and they drive to New York. And so my mom calls the police because now they are in a stolen car, and she said, "I don't want anybody arrested. I don't want anybody to press charges against anybody. I just need my car back because they are not supposed to have it." Sadly, the only place that we knew Ronnie was going to be was the burial. Donovan, who said that he was going to beat me up, my sister texted me and said that she was going to bug out on me. I have the text, hang on. She said, "I'm letting you know, and you can tell Linda that when I see you at the burial, I'm going to bug out because you two called Donovan's PO, so we couldn't make it to my father's burial." I did call Donovan's PO, so Donovan wouldn't make it to the burial because he threatened to kill my daughter, and he's not even supposed to be out of state. "You two are absolutely horrible. I want nothing to do with you. Let Linda know either when the house is switched to my name, she will have her 30-day notice, or Erin will do it when she gets back from New York. I absolutely hate both of you." I mean, like, you can read it. "If my father was still here, he would hate both of you too. Linda is a shitty mother and always has been." So my sister took the video that you guys saw at the burial. They got the car. Her boyfriend bent the car key, and they trashed the car. They stole the radio out of it. It was the Apple radio. They stole the radio out of it, and I said they trashed the car already. Me and my mother have done absolutely nothing for my sister. We have stuck beside her when her boyfriend has done awful, terrible things to her, has done awful, terrible things in front of the kids, and gotten them evicted from houses time and time and time again. I have been there for my sister. I have sent her money. I have sent her the very last money that I have for myself, and so has my mother. My sister's phone is still on my mom's phone plan. It's actually my mother's phone, and my sister won't give it back. When my mom drove to Pennsylvania yesterday to get the rest of her stuff out of that house, my sister got there and threatened to beat my mother. She said awful, disgusting things about me. She said awful, disgusting things to my brother. And I love my sister. I still love my sister, but you cannot stand next to somebody that threatened to kill your only niece and then act like everything is going to be okay after. And that's why she's not telling you the whole story. The burial was the only place my mom could think of to take the car, because once they got out of there, they were going back to Pennsylvania. Should she have done it at the burial? I don't know, but you guys let me know what you think. I just want to show you guys, this is the car in question. They absolutely trashed it. It's disgusting. I don't want to touch a lot of things because We found needles in this car before. There's a bunch of stuff. Again, I don't want to touch a lot of things because I don't know what's in here. They dumped the ashtray out on my mom's seat. They dumped chips everywhere. Some of it is just like normal, like car stuff. But they dumped stuff over here. It's just disgusting. That's where they took the radio out from. But this is the car. Do not let people fool you off of one video that they post on TikTok. I just want to add that my sister has had a job for maybe 3 to 4 months, which she doesn't work at now. She has been financially supported by me and my mother and her boyfriend's mother, who have taken care of her kids while she didn't live with them. We've bought her food. I've sent her Instacarts. I've sent her tons of money for anything that she could have possibly needed. And so did my mom. My mom used to pay her rent. And I think that's why we're so hurt, because we've done everything for somebody who has just showed us in such a hard time in all of our lives that we mean absolutely nothing to her. Because of what happened, because my mom and I couldn't go to the burial, I could not say bye to somebody who I thought of as my father. My mom could not say bye to her ex-husband, who she had just lived with for the past 5 years. And my daughter could not say bye to, she called him the funny old man. She couldn't say bye. Like, my sister has done irreparable damage because she chose to stick by somebody who has done nothing but harm her, put her children in danger, put her in danger, and hurt the people that have only ever tried to be there for her. So that's the story. I don't know if my sister will be able to see this. She has me blocked on everything. I've tried to reach out to her. She doesn't care. She's only going to see it how she wants to see it. Donovan's only going to see it how he wants to see it. But I've told her, when Donovan does what Donovan does time and time again, I will be there for her because that is my sister. But I'm not going to stay in a house where somebody is threatening me and threatening to hurt my child. That there has to be a line drawn somewhere. And this is a line I'm drawing now. I just want to show we're burying. Okay, part 1 again. Let's get into it because mine got reported. I'm going to start way before everything happened with the car, just to tell you guys that me and my sister, Veronica, and her boyfriend, Donovan, were supposed to go to Puerto Rico July 30th through August 6th. They sent me $1,000 to get everything that they would need because I was planning the whole trip. I split their money. I split my money. I did the plane tickets, where we were staying, the excursions, everything. When I realized how much money it would be, I was like, oh my gosh, they only had $600 after their plane tickets. I'm like, they're not going to have enough money to do everything else if I take it out of their money. So I told my sister, hey, I will pay for this stuff. If you guys are coming, you can take the $600 and use it for whatever, because we're going to plan on like drinking there and stuff and going out. I still wanted them to have money to do that. But if we're not going to Puerto Rico, all the stuff that I paid for, we now have to split, because I'm not going to pay for 2 people that are not coming to Puerto Rico, and I cannot change the names on their plane tickets. So my sister's father passed last Wednesday, I believe. Tuesday, Donovan had gotten high. This is Donovan's mom saying that he puked in the sink. Now you know why she punched him in his eye, because Donovan is very, very mean when he's high, and that's why they got kicked out of her house. Fast forward to the day of the funeral, Donovan said that he needed haircuts for him and his son Kylan. He took my car to go get haircuts. My mom gave him $30 to get the haircuts, and then he had $20 in his pocket. Donovan texted me and said, does this card your mom gave me, can you use it at an ATM? I told him I didn't know. I'm not sure how much the haircuts cost, but he had $50. He came back. He looked wired. He looked weird, but we had to be to the funeral in less than an hour, so I didn't really think too much of it. He told me that he took $40 out of my account to pay for the haircuts, which is a haircut one haircut, a line up or whatever he did, and then Kylan has like a little bit of hair. $120 for two haircuts. A little crazy, but again, whatever. It was the day of my sister's father's funeral. We were gonna get through it. At the funeral, we all knew that Donovan was high. Not only did I know Donovan was high, everybody around us knew Donovan was high. After the funeral, they all wanted to go out to eat. Ronnie's family, my other sister Erin's family, everybody. I wanted to go out to eat too, but they didn't want to take the kids, so they asked my mom to watch the kids. My mom said you either have to take one of the kids, either have to take two of the kids, one of the toddlers and the baby, or somebody has to come with me. I was like, fine, I'll come with you, even though they're gonna take my car and go out to eat. It's whatever. It was the day of the funeral. Do what you have to do. We got pizza for the kids. We went back home. We ate. Kylan, the 2-year-old, had a piece of pizza crust in his hand, and he was giving it to the dog, and the dog nipped him. Oakley hasn't really been around children before because it was only my mom and Fred in the house, but they weren't watching their kids, and Kylan got downstairs and started playing with Oakley the day before that. So everybody, even the two parents, assumed that Oakley was then fine with around children. When Oakley nipped, my mom got up so quickly, scooped up Kylan. We assessed him to see if we should take him to the ER. His skin wasn't bleeding. I think it was bruising a little bit, but Kylan cried for 30 seconds and then stopped. When my mom called Ronnie and Donovan, Donovan started flipping out. So my mom started flipping out back. I literally have a list because so much has happened, and I literally am trying to tell the entire story, exactly how it happened, so nobody thinks anything different. When my sister and Donovan and her friend came home from dinner, Donovan ran upstairs. I was sleeping in the bed with his 1-year-old daughter when he threw open the door and he's like, where's my effing son? I'm like, Donovan, what are you talking about? He's like, where's my son? I'm like, why are you mad? I had just like kind of gotten up out of a sleep. I didn't know what was really happening. He's like, why am I mad? Oakley bit my son. I was like, oh, okay. He's in my mom's room. Donovan did not go to my mom's room. Donovan started going, where is it? Where is it? He started looking through things. He was opening drawers. I'm like, Donovan, what are you talking about? He's like, where's the glove? Where's the glove? I said, I don't know. He was acting so crazy. You know what? I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to get away from him for a little bit. My sister went upstairs to the room where I was sleeping. I went downstairs. They were all upstairs. Donovan kept coming down and harassing me, talking about, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? I'm like, Donovan, I don't know what you're talking about. It was the day of the funeral. I just need a little bit of time to breathe. He wouldn't leave me alone. He kept coming down. I told him that if he did it again, I was going to leave. After I told him I was going to leave, he came down with my sister and they said, hey, we can't go to Puerto Rico. I said, I completely understand that, but I'm going to need to split up the money so that I am just not out over $2,000 because I was trying to be nice to you guys. If you guys can't go, then I'm going to need to figure out how much money we all have left. They both said okay and went back upstairs. Donovan came downstairs for the last time and said, and I quote, you're going to effing leave your sister up there like that. I said, Donovan, I am leaving. I don't want to be up there because I don't want to be around you. I drove 7 hours to be with my sister. I left my kid in New York to be with my sister because I would never, ever leave my sister while she's going through something hard. But I knew Donovan was tweaking, and I don't know how to handle Donovan when he is like that. I was supposed to leave the next morning. This was Sunday night. It was like 12 o'clock in the morning. I was supposed to leave at 9. I'm like, fine, whatever. I'm just going to leave a little bit early. I went upstairs and I told my sister. My sister said, okay. I started packing my stuff. Donovan came in. He's like, you're not effing leaving until I get my $1,000. I said, Donovan, you don't have $1,000. I just told you that we're going to need to go through that money. He was tweaking. He wanted the money. He picked up a weight in his hand and he told me that he was going to go smash the windows out of my car and he was going to go smash my tires. He kept walking up and down the stairs with the weight. I stayed in the room with my sister and I didn't even yell at him at first. When he came back into the room and told me that he was going to beat the F out of me, that he was finally going to do it, that's the mood that he was in. He was getting in my face and he was screaming. Did I only start screaming back? My sister, not saying anything this entire time, then said, Donovan, you don't have to speak to her like that. And then when I started raising my voice more and more and more, she was screaming at both of us. I said, whatever, I'm going downstairs, I'm leaving. My mom had then come out of her room because we were all screaming so loud, and she goes downstairs. My sister has her 2 week old baby in her hand. She's screaming at me. Donovan's screaming at me, and I'm sitting there like, I'm trying to be here for you. Your boyfriend's threatening me, and you're gonna get mad at me? But again, she was going through a lot, so whatever. I will leave. I will be at the burial on Wednesday, and it's okay. I started driving 7 hours. I got very tired, so I had to pull over and sleep, which means I didn't get back to New York till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. When I got back, I wanted to see my daughter. I'm with my kid. They're calling my phone, they're texting my phone, they're asking for the money. I went through all the money and I said, they only have $167 left. I told my sister that. After I told my sister, Donovan gets on the phone and he's screaming that he's going to unalive me. He's coming to New York on Wednesday to unalive me, my daughter, both of my moms, because I was adopted, so I have a biological mom and an adopted mom. Now, I didn't know if $167 was going to get them to New York, and of course, I'm not going to let my sister miss the burial of her father. I told her, this is what happened with me and Donovan. You need to let me know what you want to do. I told you the price. If you need more than that, you need to let me know, because no matter how mad I am, I wouldn't let you miss your dad's burial. It hurts me that I have to miss it, because at that point, she had uninvited me. She said, just send me the 167. I'm going to leave so that I'm on time for the burial and then leave after. I had to go to the ATM to give my mom cash because I only have Venmo. They only had Cash App, and she told me not to send it to Chime. So she told me to send her the 167. I told her I would send her more money. I would send her as much money as she needed, because that's how much I love my sister. But your boyfriend is now threatening to kill my daughter. So now I called his PO. His PO said, he's not even allowed out of the state. Please let me know if he is out of the state. My sister texted me this in the morning, because we called Donovan's PO, even though he just threatened to unalive your 3-year-old blood niece, who is also your goddaughter, who I also gave your middle name to, but whatever. She texted me this. I let my mom know. It's whatever. Now, that's the backstory. The moment you've all been waiting for is the car. Part 2 to my mom took my car at my dad's burial. So what my sister's not telling you is that is not her car. That is my mom's car. My mom bought it and gave it to my sister because my sister had no car. My sister needed money, so she said that my mom could buy the car back. So my mom gave her $600 to buy the car back. And then after everything happened, my mom has a second car. She left that car in Pennsylvania. My sister and her boyfriend and her best friend brought her 2-week-old baby into a stolen car, drove it across state lines with someone that's not supposed to go across state lines, and to New York. After the burial, your boyfriend said that he was coming to kill my child. So my mom did what my mom did. She called the cops. The cops went to the burial, and they took the car. A lot of you are going to say, but did you have to take it at the burial? Well, I don't know. Would you let a drug addict that just said that he was going to come to your house to kill your kid after the burial drive the car there? And my sister's going to say that I'm on drugs, my mom's on drugs. Completely not true. I'm not going to show the whole picture because this is why I think my post got taken down. This is her boyfriend nodding out. Her son is right down here in this corner. Again, I'm not going to show the whole picture. A lot of you said I was victim blaming, but what my sister's also not going to tell you is that last year she got an order of protection against Donovan and started dating a man named James. She met James one time with her boyfriend Donovan. When Donovan went to jail, she started talking to James. James is a heroin addict. She went over his house one time and then didn't go back to her house. She basically moved in. Donovan got out of jail. I went to Pennsylvania. It was last year in September. My sister was with James. We were still hanging out with Donovan, but that's their business, so I'm not going to get into all of that. My sister got pregnant with her now 2-week-old Lorenzo, and I'm not sure how everything is going there. I went to Pennsylvania in March to clean out James's house so that my sister and her kids could move in, because my sister left her kids with Donovan's mom. What I'm about to say is like a lot of allegations, and I don't have a lot to back it up, so I'm going to say like this is hearsay. But Donovan's mother said my sister did not go to see her kids for days and days and days on end. She just stayed at James's house. She's told me that the state that the kids were in when my sister had them and when Donovan's mom got them back was absolutely horrible. But again, I don't have anything to back that up. I think my sister is a good mom, besides the men that she picks to date. So we got my sister out of the situation with Donovan. James went to rehab. We fixed up the house for my sister. I made sure she had food before I left. Made sure the kids had clothes and shoes. And when Donovan got out of jail, my sister went right back to Donovan. So no, I don't think I'm victim blaming. I think I'm blaming a mother who constantly chooses her boyfriend over her children. The fact of the matter is that my sister stole my mom's car and drove all the way to New York, knowing that it wasn't her car anymore, knowing that your boyfriend just said he was going to kill my daughter and thought that there was no repercussions that were going to come of this. My sister has me blocked on everything because my sister knows that she's wrong. My mom drove to Pennsylvania after the burial that we did not get to go to and started gathering all of her stuff. My sister and Donovan got there shortly after, where my sister said that she was going to beat my mom up. She was going to hit my mom. She kept asking where I was so that she could fight me. She said that she was going to spit on me, and my mom called the cops. Donovan had lost a bag full of heroin in the house, so he didn't want the cops coming inside. Let me reiterate, Donovan lost a bag full of heroin where his kids play and wake up, and my sister and Donovan don't wake up with their kids, so they're allowed to roam the house freely with the so-called very bad dog. Should my mom have taken the car at the funeral? That's up for you guys to decide. No, I do not do drugs. I have a full-time job. I have a new car. I have my own apartment where I've lived at for over 2 years. Of course you guys are going to say my sister is a victim, because at first my sister was a victim. The children are the only victims in this anymore. My sister knows exactly what she's doing by being with Donovan. She knows that Donovan isn't clean, and Donovan got high the day of her father's funeral. Donovan wasn't even allowed to go to Puerto Rico because he was on probation, and if I knew that, I wouldn't even have asked him to go. People are asking why I don't take my sister's kids from her. I was a kid in foster care because my mom was a drug addict. She lost me and my brother, my sister, and her sister went to go live with Fred, their father. I don't want to take my sister's kids, but from the people that I've talked to that live in Pennsylvania, they are going to try to take my sister's kids. I would do anything for my sister. I would still, to this day, do anything for my sister. But I have to put my daughter first. My sister's going to spin this around and put it on me and my mom, and that's completely okay, because that's what narcissists do. I've said it before and I'll say it again. My sister has not had to financially provide for her family since she's made her family. If you know me, you know what type of person I am, and you know what type of person I am to my sister. This situation hurts me beyond words because I never, ever thought that my sister would do what she did to me. It hurts me knowing that my daughter might possibly never see her aunt again, the person that I named her after. I'm not going to get on here and cry, but I have bailed my sister out of every situation I could think of, and she just keeps going back. Once you have children, you have to put your children before you. My sister has not put her children before her in years. I'm not going to go into detail the awful, horrendous things my sister has said to me these past couple days, because I have said stuff back. That's what we do. We argue, we fight. But I never thought that she would feel the way she feels about me now. If you guys need a part 3, let me know. I can do a part 3, but that's the backstory. What my sister posted of the burial was a very little part of the story. She's not going to tell you that she stole a car. She's not going to tell you how much her boyfriend threatened us. She's not going to tell you the actual story, because if she does, she knows that the sympathy would not go towards her. I loved her dad. I love my sister, and I love my sister Erin. There's nothing I can do to make this situation better, even though I have tried. I'm done trying. When my sister is ready to talk to me again, if my sister is ready to talk to me again, I will talk to her. I will welcome her back with open arms. If my sister called me today and said, I need $500 to leave Donovan, I would do it in a heartbeat. But my sister's not going to. This is going to be my last video because I have to get up. I have to go to work. I have to start my day. But this has been fun. My sister is going to sit and tell you guys that Donovan's not in active addiction, and I showed videos of when Donovan was in active addiction, but Donovan just did drugs on Tuesday. Hang on a second. They moved into Fred's house on Tuesday. They moved into Fred's house because Donovan got kicked out of his mom's house because he was high on Tuesday of last week. This is Donovan's mom again. This is dumb. They tell lies. They spent $300 on Jordans for the kids. It doesn't really matter. They just don't have a lot of money, so why do that? This is just his mom talking about some of the stuff, like the diaper rashes and stuff that my sister will blame on his mom. His mom will blame on my sister, so who knows? This is a good point. Who plans a vacation when you have 3 kids and not even a home to live in? Ronnie and Dono. And you know what? Fine, if you only let one person not out in front of your child, but you let 2. I'm not gonna out you anymore, Ronnie. You know what it is. Your boyfriend was just high. He used my car to buy drugs with your son in the car. If you guys don't care, that is completely fine. You do what you want as parents. But me, my baby's gonna be good regardless. You feel me? You know what's crazy? I didn't even put it together that Donovan was high at the funeral. Your sister, Erin, her boyfriend put it together that Donovan was high at the funeral, sweating profusely. You couldn't understand a word he was saying. But of course he doesn't look like a drug addict now because my mom paid to get his hair cut. Let's talk about how you guys left Oakley in the house with no food and no water and came all the way to New York in a stolen car that you know wasn't your car because mom paid you for it. Let's talk about how you just unblocked me to talk on TikTok because you thought people were going to believe a 30-second video that you posted, even though you can't leave drug addicts alone because you have an issue. Let's talk about how everyone now thinks you're on drugs and wants me to call CPS, and I don't want to because what the heck? But you know what? Time will come. Karma will come. You guys have seen everything. I've said my piece. I don't care. If she never talks to me again, all I could think is that my daughter and me are better for it. I know you guys are going to think that I took Ronnie's money because I need a little bit of $600, but I have sent my sister way more than $600 just these past couple months. When Donovan needed money on his books, I put money on Donovan's books. Like, make it make sense. I didn't need your money. You knew where your money went. If you want to get mad, get mad. But the only reason Donovan flipped out is because he couldn't find his heroin in the house and he needed money that very instant to buy more drugs.